Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today, I'm going to walk you through all the purchases that I made at Sephora last year, and we're going to talk about them, talk about all the things. I like to do this every year just to monitor the things that I'm purchasing at Sephora, because at the end of the day, I would love not to be, a Ulta Diamond member and a Sephora Rouge member. And honestly, as the years go by, Sephora doesn't carry all that much that Ulta doesn't carry as well. Does that make sense? Did I say that right? I can buy almost everything that I want to buy at Ulta Beauty these days, which is what I should be doing because I work at Ulta Beauty and get a hell of a discount there. So at the end of the day, I want the least amount of my purchases to be coming from Sephora. And I look across the table of what I have set up here, and it's really not a lot in the grand scheme of the purchases that I made last year. So really excited to walk you through all the purchases that I made at Sephora last year. And if that sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care. I also work as a field leader for Ulta Beauty, so I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here, but ultimately, I'm out here because I really like to talk about makeup, and if you're also one of those people that really likes to talk about makeup, I think that you found the right place. I hope that you find that it brings as much joy to your soul as it brings mine, and this is my self-care. This is how I find peace in life. So I hope that you find that you love it just as much as I do, and you'll want to subscribe before you go. And with that said, let's roll into this where we're talking about some makeup that I purchased last year. All right. Hello. Hi. So this isn't like a haul in retrospect, so to speak. Those I do every month or so, and I go through all the things that I hauled in this time last year. This is a video that I've been doing on my channel for the last several years, and it's just walking through all the items that I purchased at Sephora last year, what made me rouge last year, and there's not a lot here. So, I mean, it really puts into perspective for you the amount of money that you have to spend to be rouge and what equates to that amount of money. And I didn't make rouge until December of last year for this year. So everything up to the last spend that I had didn't count for me being rouge. So that's also a lot of enlightening information in and of itself. With that said, last year at Sephora, I didn't make my first purchase until March of 2023, except for a Rouge reward in January. I purchased that Rouge reward in January to use on some of the products that I picked up. I didn't use that Rouge reward until April, but that's the only thing that I purchased. I purchased it with points prior to my first purchase, which was in March of last year. So in March of last year, I did pick up 6 things. And of those 6 things, one of them was the Cinema Secrets makeup brush cleaner that I purchase every single Sephora sale, or used to purchase every single Sephora sale. I clean my makeup brushes every single time I use them with this makeup brush cleaner. And then once a month or so, I do like a deep clean with brush soap and all the things. This does a really good job of making it so that whatever is on my brushes comes off of my brushes, and it helps prevent bacteria growth in between uses. So I used to pick up one of these every single like Sephora sale because it was the only place that I knew of to get it, and I can earn points off it, right? But now, because it's the same price, whether I go to Amazon or go to Sephora, and sometimes I'm not getting it in time if I wait from Sephora sale to Sephora sale, and because I'd like not to be rouge at the end of the day, I have been purchasing these on Amazon. So one of those was my Cinema Secrets. I love that product. I will always love that product. Another one I no longer have anymore is this, and it is the Cali Ray Come Hell or High Water mascara. It was a mini. I purchased the mini to try it out. It is a tubing mascara, and it actually was a really great mascara. I would repurchase it in a pinch. I just have so many mascaras that I really truly love, and I can pick all of them up at Ulta Beauty. I do love this mascara though, and would probably recommend it to anybody looking for a tubing mascara, because the tubing mascaras that I've used that you can pick up at Ulta Beauty, besides the Hourglass one that is a recent like try of mine because I got it in gratis, aren't fantastic. And then I also have 4 items that I picked up that I still have, obviously. The first of which is the Huda Beauty Love Fest palette. This is one of Huda's Obsessions palette, and it came out for, I think, Pride. I could be wrong though at when it released, but this is what the inside looks like. I have to be honest with you, it's not my favorite palette, but none of my Huda Obsessions palettes are my favorite palettes, honestly. I just don't find that their formulation is 100% fantastic, but I do love the Obsession palettes, and they're really good in a pinch. This one is honestly, I think, one of my favorites of them as far as the formulation goes. It did leaps and bounds better than any other Obsessions palette that I have in my collection from her. I especially love like this shade here, which is kind of like a duochrome, like almost like topper. And this one here, which was kind of like a creamy, like satiny, like almost duochrome as well. But I hate the color story on this. I don't know what possessed me to pick it up. I think at that point in time, I really just had orange on my brain, and I think that you will see that in some of the other things that I picked up as well. Not my favorite, but I really do like it. Another thing that I picked up was the Kosas Cloud Set powder, and mine is in the shade Featherly. This is not everybody's cup of tea because everybody says that, you know, Kosas goes bad really quickly, and it does typically go bad really quickly. And this starts to smell like stale French fries, but mine doesn't smell at all, and it's now been in my collection for a year, and I have used it. There's actually not a lot of use out of it, but there's quite a bit of use out of it. I also know that these packaging pieces break so easily, but I've not had bad luck with mine. It doesn't stink. It's now been in my collection for over a year. It works well. I really like the powder. I think the powder is really finely milled and just kind of really beautiful and kind of gives like a luminous feel to it. I really don't mind this product at all. I like the powder. I think the powder is beautiful. This is the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer in the shade Light Level 4. This is what the packaging looks like. Now, I don't know if she changed the bronzers. I do know that she changed the blushes to be smaller. I don't know if the bronzers got changed, but this is the bronzer. I do have this listed as a liked it, didn't love it. The reason why is because I'm not 100% sold on this formula. This formula feels just, I mean, it's creamy and it does feel a little bit like velvet. I do love the color of it. I just think that on me, it's really hard to use without it getting patchy. And maybe I'm using the wrong brush. I'm just not sure. It's just not my favorite bronzer. I do love the shade on it. I feel like it is, you know, just bronzery enough to look like natural sun-kissed skin, but not bronzery enough to look orange, if that makes any sense. I do like that bronzer a whole heck of a lot. I just don't love it wholeheartedly. And then the last thing that I picked up from Sephora in March was the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blush in Golden Hour. Bright ass orange. I don't really not like this, but I also don't use it a whole heck of a lot because it is just a crazy orange blush, and I'm not 100% sure that it is my color of blush. And again, it goes back to, like I said, I was just really feeling the orange at that point in time and really wanted myself an orange blush. I may have another orange blush, but it doesn't see a whole lot of use in my collection, but I really do love this blush. It is just Super, super pretty. It goes on the skin so well. It blends out beautifully. It just really looks like a sunburn on me, and I'm not 100% sure that I needed it in my life, but I do love it. The next purchase I made was in April, and it was exactly a month after the March purchase. I do think that this came at the same time as the Sephora sale for spring, and I did also have a Rouge reward that I used during that time, and if you know, you know, you cannot use Rouge rewards during the spring sale and get the Rouge reward to pay for the things that you're also getting in the spring sale, which I think is bullshit, honestly, if they're going to allow you to get a Rouge reward because you've spent enough money with them that you earned a $100 gift card in Rouge reward, then they should also let you use that with your discount code to get your products even then more off. I think it's crazy the way that Sephora has their loyalty system set up. It's really honestly a shitty reward system, but that's just me. So with the Rouge reward, I did purchase this. It was a $100 Rouge reward. I had this in my cart, which was $88. With tax, it was somewhere around $90. So I also threw in this, which accounted for a portion of that cost, but I also purchased it without that 20% discount, right? Because I needed to purchase something to add to it. But this was quite possibly the best purchase that I made last year, in that I have used this so dang much. I appreciate myself every single time I go out of town for thinking that this was a great thing that I wanted to try to purchase. These are cream contour and complexion products. You do have a couple of highlights here. I think there's 4 highlights here. You have bronzer, contour, and then you have all these like complexion shade colors of cream to like mix and match and double and make what you need of it for your own skin tone. As you can see, I have used all 4 of these and then this one pretty significantly. I've also used this one a little bit. The rest of them have been quasi untouched, but ultimately this is what goes with me for complexion and contour and bronzer, honestly, when I go out of town. It is just the smartest way for me to do it. I don't 100% love foundation. It is a one-stop shop. It's one product that I have to take to replace like 3 that I might take with me, and I really truly love it. This I picked up with my Rouge reward, so it technically didn't cost me any money. This I ended up paying for a little bit at the end of the day, and this is the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Vitamin CC Eye Stick. This is a color correcting stick. It is in the apricot shade because I figured that the apricot shade probably would match me best. It is just something that I pop in on my under eyes for use to help cover up some of the dark circles. Honestly, not the best spend of money. I've used it very, very little. I think that you guys can probably tell by just how it sits in the tube. Like, there is very little gone of it. It either lasts forever or I just haven't used it very often. I will tell you, I just haven't used it very often. It's not a part of my makeup routine that I think about all the time. I don't hardly ever use concealer even, so it probably wasn't the best spend of money. I do like it though. I like it a lot. When I use it, I appreciate myself for having used it. So then I also picked up some things as part of the sale. And there's not very many things, honestly. I did pick up the Ole Henriksen Banana Bright Eye Cream. I used all that, and we're not here to talk about skincare, to be honest, but this eye cream was actually quite good. I did love it. I would repurchase it, but I got some in gratis because Ole is now at Ulta, so I don't have to go to Sephora to purchase it anymore. I also purchased 2 palettes. I purchased the Melt Millennial Pinks and the Melt Electric. Now, the Melt Millennial Pinks actually got decluttered from my collection. The only reason why I still have it in my hot little hands is because my declutter basket sits over there and it's still in my house, but it is no longer as part of my collection. The Melt Electric, I think, is quite possibly a new formula for Melt. I felt a little bit different about this palette than I have felt about Melt palettes in the past. I do think that it's quite good. The shimmers are quite a bit different than shimmers of the past. I kind of like that, but they are a lot more pigmented, I think, than the shimmers of the past. Now, the powders, the mattes, are a lot less, I don't want to say less pigmented because they are still pigmented, but you have to build them. Whereas mattes of the past, it was like straight up color on your freaking eyeballs and good luck to you to get them blended out. That's not the way I feel about this. I actually feel like this is a more user-friendly formulation for Melt. I also feel like it's a little bit more newbie-friendly than Melt of the past. Whereas this one, no good. No bueno, not a great palette, really awful shimmers, really awful mattes. Really not a great palette. And I have done a palette roulette on each one of those, which is my palette review series. I will stick that up in the cards for you. I also did pick up the Valentino V Lighter. This was a Laura May Beauty made me buy it and I think that you guys can see I have used this so much. I love this. And this is the catalyst for me starting to use like some liquid highlighters as a primer underneath my foundation, because this is actually listed as a primer and liquid luminizer, and I use it as a primer because I love what it does to the finish of my foundation. And I actually have a Becca highlighter, liquid highlighter, underneath my foundation today. I just really love what it does to make my skin look bright and healthy and shiny without looking greasy and gross. This is beautiful. I will 100% repurchase this 100%. Recommend it. It is beautiful. It's one of my favorite things that I purchased last year as well. And then I also have the Rare Beauty Positive Light highlighter in the shade Exhilarate. This wasn't the shade that I wanted. It was the shade that I decided to purchase because I couldn't get the shade that I wanted, but it is still just such a beautiful like gold that is like see me from the moon, beautiful gold. And it's not like pigmented underlying, like going to be causing certain casts on your skin kind of gold. It's just a really beautiful, like transparent gold that is, oh my gosh, so pretty. But see me from the moon, and those just aren't really the highlighters that I'm wearing these days, but still beautiful. And I'm still super glad to have it in my collection. And this is gorgeous as an inner corner highlight. So then I went a good 5 months before making a purchase. My next purchase was actually on my birthday. I went into the Sephora store and made a purchase with my mom, who was here visiting me, I think for the first time after we moved. And I didn't pick up very much, if I'm honest. I picked up one thing that I no longer have, which is the Milk Makeup Hydro Grip Eyeshadow Primer. And this was actually awful. I hated this eyeshadow primer so dang much. I did use it in my my project pan just to get it out of my collection, and I used it in a smaller amount of time than I have ever used an eye primer before. And it's not because I was using too much of it. I don't feel like I don't know. There just wasn't very much product in that giant tube, and it was far too expensive for it to have lasted me such a small amount of time. I just think that there are much better eyeshadow primers out there, and it reminded me a lot of Urban Decay Primer Potion, only worse in that I don't think that the Milk Makeup Eye Primer did anything for my makeup application. I also picked up the Fenty Skin Hydra Reset Intensive Recovery. Now this is a hand cream, and when I'm using it, I feel like it is really, really good, but I don't use it a whole heck of a lot because when it comes out, it's so thick. I don't know if you guys can see that. It is so thick, but it's thick for a reason. So it does help with really creating a moisture barrier on your hands and really healing your hands from a moisture perspective. But it is so thick that I hate using it because then I have to go to bed. I have to put socks on my hands and go to sleep with socks on my hands. And then I feel some sort of way about it. I don't know. It's just, it's weird, but I do love it. It really, when I'm using it, I can see the difference between what I call my old lady hands and my hands. And then I did pick up 3 items from Give Beauty as well. During that time, I picked up the Give Check My Glow highlight in Platinum Cowboy. I think this comes in 2 colorways. This one for light to medium skin, and then another one for medium to deep skin. And I mean, it's really pretty. What I like most about this highlight is you can see all the different like blocks of color in here. And I like that I can go in for a pinky highlight or a slightly orange highlight or just kind of like a champagne-y gold highlight. I love that about it, but I specifically love like just mixing them all together. And it is one of those highlights that's just kind of subtle, but also just truly beautiful. It is truly a beautiful highlight. So really happy to have that into my collection. And then the other 2 things I picked up from Give were some of the Feeling Cheeky blushes, blush duos. And I did pick up Flirty Talk, which is kind of like orangey. And I also picked up Stars Align, again in my orange era here. This is the Flirty Talk one, which is coral and orange. What I love most about this is a really pretty, like almost yellow blush, and it goes so well. Like if I put this like down here on the lower part of my cheekbones, because I wrap my blush around my eye, like most people would with like a highlighter, I wrap it around my eye like in a C. And when I go in with this deeper orange, like right here, and then pop this one on the like inner portions of my cheek, it really does a really good job of contouring my cheek in a way that just looks so, so pretty. This is a lot more subtle and orange than this one is, obviously. So I do use this one quite a bit. I do like this blush a lot. And then this one is Stars Align, and it's a little bit more like rusty and mauve. And again, same scenario. When I go in with the deeper one around my eye and then pop the lighter one on the actual like cheeks, it looks just so pretty. And it's a really great, beautiful, like almost neutral or natural looking blush on my skin tone. So I really truly love it. And that is all I picked up at Sephora for myself for my birthday last year. Then we meander all the way to November, which the beginning of November, end of October is Sephora's other VIP sale, in which they allow for up to 20% off for Rouge. I did pick up a Summer Fridays lip balm. This is in the shade Vanilla Beige. I keep this in my purse. This is my purse balm. I use it all the time. I love it so much. My daughter now wants one because she used it the other day and thought it was amazing. My sister wants one as well. Like, it's a favorite of mine. It is my purse balm. I will repurchase this at the end of the day, unless the Polite Society ones that I got in gratis and that I also purchased are anywhere close to this. And then I might not pick up the Summer Friday ones because I can pick up Polite Society at Ulta Beauty. I also picked up this from Danessa Myricks that I had been wanting to try since it launched. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Serum Skin Tint. I do have mine in the shade 4. And while it looks really, really like peachy in this little window here, I do think it's an appropriate shade match for me. I have worn it several times specifically over the last couple weeks. I really do like it. It's really, really lightweight and feels like nothing on your skin, but really does a good job of correcting or laying like a blank canvas, or really just putting it all together to make it look like you're put together without it feeling like you're wearing a whole lot on your face. So I really do like it. I've heard that this can be very polarizing. I have heard that a lot of people don't love it. I do have really dry skin, so I do like it for that. What I will say kind of counteracts it a little bit is the potential of the primer that I'm using underneath it. So with that said, I think it goes really, really great over the top of something like this, where it's like kind of a liquid highlighter, not really got any skincare properties to it. I think it goes really well over like my Natasha Denona High Gen primer. I don't think it goes really well over my Ulla Henriksen Banana Bright primer. I think that it pilled quite a bit over the top of that, and I'm just not sure why, but that is my experience with this. And like I said, I've tried it over a couple of different primers, and that's the only primer that I've had problems with it. Could be that primer in a nutshell, but I think it's beautiful. I love it on my skin. And then I also picked up some things from Rose Inc. These two things came in a kit that you could get for the holiday season. So this is one of their lipsticks, and this is in the shade Enigmatic. And as you can see, I haven't even used it yet, but it is super, super pretty. And I think it would be an easy, like, just mini lipstick to use and get out of my collection. And then I also picked up this blush. This is in the shade Heliotrope. Now, this came in the kit with the lipstick. I think it's beautiful, but as you can see, I haven't even used it yet. Now, it has been in my collection for 7 months and I haven't used it yet. It is in my Shop My Stash currently, which is typically the place where I filter all my new products in to test them out and try them out. Like once I, do a Shop My Stash revision. But I didn't do Shop My Stash for like 5 months on my channel. I paused it while I did all of my collections and declutters and just started doing it again. So this will get some use in the next probably, couple months. In addition to that, I also have the bronzer and I haven't used it yet either. But this is honestly the first time I've even opened this to look at it in a nutshell. It does look a little bit warm, but we'll see. I also picked up some more items from Rare Beauty. So I did get the Positive Light highlight in the shade that I wanted in the first place, which was Mesmerize. Again, not like a See Me From the Moon highlight is not what I'm going after these days, but this, like after trying the other one, like I could not pick this up. I really, really love a pink highlight. Really love a pink highlight. And this one is just, it's just gorgeous. It's so pretty. So I have used this a handful of times. I really, really, truly love it. I also picked up the Rare Beauty stick bronzer, and I haven't used it yet. This is in the shade Bright Side. I do feel like it's a really great like contouring shade for me. It is something that is, again, in my Shop My Stash as one of the new, as a matter of fact, I think all the products from this Sephora haul are in my Shop My Stash right now because I haven't pulled them into a Shop My Stash and haven't gotten any use out of them. I also picked up a mini blush because I wanted to try their Rare Beauty liquid blushes again. The first time I tried these was in a little like sample like bubble pack, and I hated them. I did not know how to use them and I did not love them, but I know that they are a favorite for a lot of people out there. So I wanted to try it, and they now come in minis. So I did pick up the mini in Hope, and I quite love this. It's just such a beautiful, like kind of like pinky, but like natural pinky tone to it. It's just so, so pretty. And I'm really glad to have a mini because I don't see that this will take very long to get through. Love that blush, and it inspired me to buy another one, which you'll see here in a second. I also picked up this, and I think I meant to pick this up in a mini because this is the Positive Light liquid highlight, and it is in the shade Enlighten, and it is so big. This is the largest bottle of liquid highlight I have ever seen in my life, and I can't ever foresee me using this up ever before it goes bad. This highlight is crazy. Did I need this giant thing? No. But like I said, I will think about it in terms of like what I think about the Valentino one in. This would probably make a really good primer on my face underneath a more mattifying foundation. I think that it would do well in that, but I actually really truly do love it also as a liquid highlight because you can sheer that out to be just this beautiful, like natural, like sun hit me here glow to the skin. I picked up this from One Size. This is the bronzer trio. So the Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt trio, and I picked up medium. I have to be honest, I'm not 100% in love with this product. I have used it a few times. I really do like this shade. I quasi like this shade, but I really don't love this shade. This shade is like really super patchy on me. It's almost red in tone on me. This one is also, you know, almost pinky in tone, but really makes it a really pretty contour if I go really lightly. I feel like this gets patchy on me, so I don't love using it. I think I just need to play with it a little bit more, and it is in my Shop My Stash rotation currently for my everyday makeup drawer. And then the last thing I picked up was this, and this is the Huda Beauty Pretty Grunge palette. I have done a palette roulette on this. This is such a beautiful palette, and I am so happy to have it in my collection. I knew as soon as I saw this that it was going to be a palette that I picked up, because as far as cool tones go, I'm not typically like gung-ho cool tone, but if I was gung-ho cool tone, these would be the cool tone shades that I would want on my eyes, and every single eye look I created with that palette, I absolutely loved. The last purchase I made at Sephora was on December 2nd, and at this point, I still had not reached the threshold for Rouge for 2024. But at the end of this, I had reached the threshold, but I had only reached it by like $13. So I barely made the threshold for Rouge, and I didn't pick any of these things up to make the threshold for Rouge. I picked these up because I was shopping with my boss and I couldn't help myself. This is the Fenty Skin Butter Drop, and this was totally a Steph from It's Just Steph made me buy it purchase. This smells like cinnamon rolls, and I mean, I can't help but love the scent of this, but I don't know if you guys can tell. I think I've stuck my finger in this one time. I had some Josie Maran Argan Oil Whipped Butter, Body Butter, that I was trying to make my way through, and therefore that never got touched, but that is almost gone now at this point. It's only been a few months. It's still fine. It still smells delicious, but that will be the next body butter that I use, because oh my God, I want to smell like a snack always. So I'm going to smell like a cupcake or a cinnamon roll. I also picked up 2 new lip glosses. So I have the Lawless Forget the Filler in the shade Glazed. This is just a really beautiful, like I have used it a couple of times, just a really beautiful like golden glazed donut, kind of like milky gloss. Milky glosses are some of my favorite glosses, so I really do love that lip gloss. Will continue to use it, and will probably likely buy another one. This is the second Forget the Filler that I have. The other one that I have is currently going in my project pan, and I also love it. I also picked up this. This is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow Lip Gloss in the shade Nude Glow. It reminds me a lot of the Lawless Forget the Filler, in that it is just kind of a milky gloss that goes on your lips. I have used this one less than I have used this one, but mostly because this is another one of my purse glosses, and it is the Mario Glow Gloss in Mauve Glow. So I've been trying to make it through that one, and the Nude Glow has been put away. But again, it's a milky gloss. I really love a milky gloss on me specifically. I also picked up another Rare Beauty blush, and you know, at the time, had I been thinking appropriately, I would have only purchased this one in a mini, but I don't know that this shade is in a mini yet, and I think the reason why I didn't get it in a mini is because up until recently, this was the only shade that you could get in a mini, and now they have like 6 or 5 other mini shades that you can get. I'm not sure that this is the one. This one is in the shade Encourage, and I love the shade of this blush. It is so, so pretty. Like the perfect like deep mauve shade for me. I love it so much. I also picked up a Huda Beauty Cherry Blossom Cake mini powder. I do put this on my under eyes quite often. I love this mini powder. Quite possibly have never ever said that I loved a powder, especially a loose powder, but I truly do love this powder. And then I also picked up another item from Give Beauty, and that is the Pick It Up Cream Contour and Powder Bronzer Duo in the shade Toastin'. Can you guys see? Haven't even used it. I didn't even know that I hadn't used it because the dumb me took it out of its packaging and set it with the rest of my cream bronzers. So I didn't have it in my box of, or my, like I have a basket full of brand new products in my makeup drawers that holds all of my brand new products that I haven't tried yet. And they're still in their boxes, and I took this one out and set it where it would normally go. And I haven't used it. So, and it's also not in my Shop My Stash. So I am promising myself that I'm going to pull it out and give it some use here in the next couple of days, because I am shocked that that has not been used. And then I also picked up just a replacement of my Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat in the shade Iconic Nude. This is nothing new to me. It was just a replacement. Lastly, of the December purchases, I purchased this Danessa Myricks Line Work Paintbrush Liquid Eyeliner because I want a new liquid eyeliner to love besides the Hindash one that I can pick up mainstream, one that I don't have to go online and wait for it to be shipped to me. And I want to try that one to like see if it's the one, but I only keep my liquid eyeliners. I only open one at a time with my liquid eyeliners, and at the time I purchased that, I had this one open, and this one is still open, and this one is still going strong. It is the liquid eyeliner that I have on my eyes today. I think you can see it is still going strong. So I don't know what magic is in this liquid eyeliner, but typically liquid eyeliners don't last me much longer than that 4 or 5 month marker, and that one has been open and in use for 7 months. So, I mean, maybe I should get rid of it because it's been open and in use, but I mean, it's still got strong pigmentation and payoff, so it doesn't make any sense to get rid of it. That is all. That is all that I brought into my collection from Sephora in the year of 2023. Those items all equated to $13 over the Rouge threshold. It really doesn't take you very much to get there. And most of these products were, you know, makeup related, but there were just a couple things that were not makeup related as well. I really, really loved half of the things that I purchased. So 18 items out of the 37 items that I purchased to make Rouge, I liked, but probably could have done without 5 of the products of those 37 items. That would be the Huda Love Fest Obsessions palette, which I wasn't 100% a fan of the color story. The House Labs Power Sculpt Matte Bronzer, which I wasn't 100% a fan of the formulation. The Give Beauty Check My Glow highlighter, while I do think it's beautiful, I didn't need another highlighter in my collection, and I probably could dupe that out with what is in my collection. The One Size Made for Shade Bronzer Trio, I like it, but I don't love it. It's not something that I don't like, so it lands in that like it but could have done without kind of mindset. And then the Rare Beauty Positive Light Liquid Highlighter, this definitely was a silly thing to purchase because I have plenty of highlights in my collection and I didn't need that one. And if I was going to buy that one, I should have bought it in a much smaller mini version. With that said, those are the things that I like that I purchased, but I probably didn't need to purchase them. I've decluttered or not liked 2 of the 37 items that I purchased, and I think that's great odds. The Millennial Pinks palette by Melt, I hated. I decluttered it. And then the Milk Makeup eyeshadow primer, also something that I just absolutely despise. Thought it was the most worthless $30-something that I had ever spent in my life. And the Melt Millennial Pinks, I am glad that I got half off. On a half off sale for 20% off of that, because I think I paid like a whopping $20-something for that palette. And of what I do have, there was several products that I had not used up until this point. And we will be seeing some usage out of my Shop My Stash because a large majority of them are currently living in my Shop My Stash so that I can get some use out of them. But this year so far, I'm not even to the halfway point of meeting expectations for Rouge, and I know I've spent far less money at Sephora currently. And a lot of the reason why is because you can get everything that is sold at Sephora, you can get on a really good sale at that brand's website often. Like when I think through the lens of Melt, it is sold at Sephora, but I just went online and made a purchase that you guys will see in my makeup rehab. And they were having a birthday sale. And if you spent like a certain amount of money, you got 50% off of everything in your cart. And I did that. And I got 50% off of everything on my cart. And I did it before they put some like little, like, these things aren't part of the sale postings on there. So I'm really surprised that I got it for the price that I did, but I did. And I'm super happy about it. But most of what you can get at Sephora, you can also get on the company's websites for super cheap. So I've been really focusing in on that. I've also just, I mean, really, let's be real, Ulta Beauty has started bringing in some of those brands that you at one point in time could only get at Sephora. So that is where I've been purchasing it because I get a really great employee discount at Ulta Beauty. So it would make no sense for me to continue to shop at Sephora. So with that said, I don't know that I'll make Rouge this year for 2025. And if I don't, no harm, no foul. I would be interested to know what you purchased from Sephora and what you think last year and what you think about the items that I purchased at Sephora last year. If some of them were the same ones that you purchased at Sephora last year. And yeah, just tell me what you think about the video. I would love to hear from you. I am trying to hit 2,000 subscribers before my birthday in September. Even if it doesn't happen, I always do an incredibly large giveaway in September for my birthday gift to myself, to you, because that is what we do here on my birthday. We give back to you guys. I appreciate you guys so much. And it is the one giveaway every single year that I do. So I would love for 2,000 people to be in the running rather than, you know, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 50. That would be amazing. And so if you have friends out there that you know will enjoy my channel, please share my video with them. I would love to hear from them. Love to hear from you. Don't forget to hit a girl up down in the comment section. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you and yours are safe and healthy and getting along as best you can. I hope you're enjoying some sunshine here in June because I am not in Western Washington. It is still raining all the time. There's that. Just love each other and be kind humans to each other. And until next time, everyone, bye, friends.